All right, good job on your animation. I was going to take you guys into our scene now. My brother's going to explain how you can navigate in there, and also how you can add dialogue.
So here we have a scene with two characters in it that we've already applied our radical motion captures to. You can see my character on the left is moving back and forth, and my character on the right is waving his hands in the air. I'm going to show you real fast how to put audio on these characters and to see your animation. So the first thing we're going to do is basically modify this timeline we have down here to have real-time playback. By default, Blender doesn't put your characters moving in real time. But what you can do is you can go to playback mode, change it to AV sync, which makes it so that when you hit the play button, the timeline moves in real time and your characters are a little more jerky, but it's now running in real time. The other thing we want to do in the playback menu is turn on audio scrubbing, so if we bring in an audio file, we can hear it as we watch our characters move around. In order to bring in an audio file, I'm going to take this area and I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to bring in a video sequencer. So the video sequencer is basically a video editor inside of Blender, and you can bring in clips and do whatever you want with it. I'm going to add a movie that is one of our captures from the scene. So if we look at our scene and go to facial captures, I'm going to use 51 knock and edit, add the movie clip, and unfortunately put the movie clip at where I had the timeline, so I'm going to move it to the beginning of the scene. And you can see as I move this timeline around, you can actually hear the audio scrubbing back and forth. Her voice isn't very loud, but you can hear it. So the last thing I want to do is when I'm in render mode, so what you do is you go to the Output Properties tab and you turn off the sequencer. That makes it so that this video won't show up in your renders when you render it, because the video editor will basically override the output of your 3D view when you're rendering in Blender. Okay, so to move your characters around, I've left the origin of these characters way over in the origin of the world, and you can move your characters around by using their base bone that the entire character is parented to. So we're going to move our character up onto the rock here because he's standing on the rock. And now we've got him where we want him, and if we would like, we can hit the I key and insert a keyframe for location, and that'll keep him in that location. If we move it to another spot of the timeline, we can move him somewhere else and insert a keyframe there. I accidentally put this keyframe down here in the wrong spot, so I'm going to move it to the beginning. And now he's keyframed in the location we want him at. The radical script doesn't put any keyframes on the root bone, so you can move him around as you want using the root bone in pose mode for that character.
All right, we're almost there. We're going to move on to cameras and also rendering.